What's going on, people? What is up? Well, I have a video. Well, I have a few videos, and they are in reference to HHS. It's a branch of the military. I mean, branch of the government, and there has been some suspicious activities going on, and within that whole scope, there has been some people getting fired or people disappearing. And what I mean is, we know of the mob from way back in the days. And who thinks the mob has disappeared? I hope you don't. The mob just changed uniforms and they changed positions. That's it. They're still here. They're just more organized and they have a lot more power. And what I mean, let me show you. Let's get into the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go here. So this is a congressional hearing about 8-9 months ago. And it's asking a few people in some very high positions of what is going on with, I think it's over 85,000 children, illegal immigrant children coming here and just disappearing. Now, HHS is supposed to track this. They're the ones that connects the children to sponsors here, and they're supposed to track them, see how the kid is going, see how the kid is doing, etc. And before they put them together, put them with sponsors, they are supposed to screen the sponsors to verify that this is actually a family member or it's not. But they're not doing that. Let me get into the video and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's start the video.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Marcos, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports? These stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes, they are operating heavy machinery, they are delivering meals, they are harvesting coffee, they are working construction, they are working as housekeepers, they are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid, they are not going to school, they are not cared for, they are not giving meals, almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR...
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace in the United States of America. Let me ask you this. You did an audit, I noticed, where you gave yourself a clean bill of health. So just tell me this. Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Now, before we go on, this is going to be kind of long because I want people to understand what is going on right now in this country, in my country that I love, in my country that I offered my services, my life, my limb, my blood, my spirit, my soul to for 20 years. I served in the military. I'm a veteran. That's going to be my next video. But let's finish with this one. This is what's happening in this country right now. Now, we all have heard about the island. It's funny that those names that are on that blacklist are not coming out. They will not release the names. Why is that? All you got to do is pay attention to what's going on. Listen to your politicians when they have these meetings. Look at them, watch them. Watch these meetings, these conferences, these hearings, and you will see why that list is being blocked from coming out. It's because, in my opinion, the names that are on that list that help exploit those children are right under our noses. Let's finish with the video.
Senator, we have a thorough vetting process.
Do you
in
require
which-
sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Yes, we go through.
No,
a
you do
process.
not. You do not. Have you read the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations reports on your office? There was one in 2016. There was one in 2018. There was one in 2020. There was one in 2022. Spanning administrations, what they found is you do not require sponsors to document their relationship with the child. You release them anyway. What about background checks? Do you require background checks on all adults in the household?
In cases where the child is being released to their parents, we do not require background checks. But Senator, I would
Do you
really
require
like
background checks on all adults in the household in any case?
Yes, in some cases we do.
What percentage of cases do you do background checks on the adults in the household?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like the opportunity to talk about.
All right, people. I'm going to leave this link below. Check the whole video out. Listen to her responses. She's not the only one on that board that answers these questions that will shake your soul. Like, what? Like what she just said. He asked her, do you do background checks of everyone in that home that you're releasing these children to? No. Do y'all? No, she said sometimes. And then he asked her, do they go back and check? See how the children are doing? Her answer was no. Y'all tell me what's the problem. Leave it in the comments. Anyway, let's go to another video. Now, this is what I mean about the mafia, the mob. They didn't go anywhere. They changed uniforms and they changed jobs. They're still doing the same thing. They just have more power. Let me show you what I mean. Now, here is another congressional hearing involving HHS, but this time it's a whistleblower that worked within HHS that is coming out and telling the truth. This is the beginning of what I was talking about with the mob. Let's go here and listen.
Sophisticated network that begins with recruiting in home country, smuggling to the U.S. border, and ends when ORR delivers a child to a sponsor. Some sponsors are criminals and traffickers and members of transnational criminal organizations. Some sponsors view children as commodities and assets to be used for earning income. This is why we are witnessing an explosion of labor trafficking. Now, whether it's intentional or not, it could be argued that the United States government has become the middleman in a large-scale, multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation that is run by bad actors seeking to profit off of the lives of children. As for me, my interest is the safety of the children. I do not view this as a political issue. I view this as a humanitarian issue. I assure you, my motives are the highest and best. I want the children protected. So I want to tell you some of what I witnessed personally at the Pomona Fairplex. I saw vulnerable indigenous children from Guatemala who speak Mayan dialects and cannot speak Spanish. That means they cannot ask for help in English. They cannot ask for help in Spanish. They become captives of their sponsors. I have sat with case managers as they've cried to tell me the horror of what has happened to children as they make the journey to this country. I saw apartment buildings where 20, 30, and 40 unaccompanied minors have been released. I saw sponsors trying to simultaneously sponsor children from multiple ORR sites at one time. I saw sponsors using multiple addresses to obtain sponsorships of children. And I saw numerous cases of children in debt bondage, and the child knew they had to stay with the sponsor until the debt was paid.
Okay. This one, I'm going to leave the link below again. Check this one out. Let's go somewhere else. Now, keep in mind, whistleblower. This lady here is a whistleblower. Keep that in mind. And the mob. So, here's another here's another whistleblower. This has nothing to do with HHS, but it has something to do with the corrupted part of our government. We know about Boeing. If you haven't heard anything about Boeing, you need to start paying attention. This guy here, John Burnett, worked for Boeing. He was in a very, very high position. And he started seeing things and he said something. Somehow he was found not here anymore. And they deemed it a suicide. This is the beginning. Well, this ain't the beginning, but this is a part of the whistleblowers are somehow disappearing or getting fired or found. I'm trying to choose my word because YouTube will block it. Unalived by themselves. That they actually did it themselves, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's listen to this. Like I said, this is going to be kind of long. So if you can't, I'm okay with it. Here we go.
Dozens of people were injured on a flight from Australia to New Zealand due to a technical issue on a Boeing 787. It's followed by the news that a former Boeing employee who blew the whistle on alleged safety problems has been found dead. Officials say 62-year-old John Barnett died Saturday from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Barnett recently testified against Boeing in a whistleblower lawsuit. He worked at Boeing for over 3 decades. Boeing expressed its condolences. Boeing has been under scrutiny since the fatal crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX in 2018 and 2019.
Thank you.
Now, Boeing is in trouble. They have been accused of safety violations on another level. They've been accused of a lot of things. Accused. And all of a sudden, people are starting to find themselves offed. Somebody would text me while I'm recording. That's how it works, people. Ain't that something? Anyway, last video. Let's go here. All right, so this is the last video. So this lady is Miss Rodas. Rodas, the one that was in the previous video, the whistleblower for HHS. Now she's going to break down some more things about HHS and the cover up. And she's going to tell you what happened to her. Pay attention.
When HHS let you go, what was their rationale and how did they justify that to you?
So what they claimed as cover for action. So I reported the first case of MS-13, of a known affiliated MS-13 actor on our site who was attempting to sponsor 2 young teenagers, 13 years old, one from our site and one from the Fort Bliss emergency intake site. As soon as I reported that case, that's when everything changed. I went from being, they appointed me to the deputy of the director for our case management team. I was highly trusted, highly valued in all of the top executive meetings. They valued my input. They brought me in on meetings with the executive office of the president, the U.S. Digital Service. But the moment I reported that MS-13 case, it took them less than 3 weeks to swiftly accuse me of wrongdoing completely falsely, and then threaten me with investigation and walked me off the site with security. So HHS, ORR, their federal field specialist, which was one of the highest ranking HHS people on the site, along with security, had me clean out my belongings from my workspace in front of my peers midday. We call that the perp walk.
Yeah.
The walk of shame. They try to shame you in front of your peers while simultaneously scaring anybody else from coming forward.
So, see what I mean, people? They fired her. They tried to totally annihilate her character. When they hired her to do the job, she was doing her job. She revealed some things that did not make any sense, and they fired her. Think about that. Why would they fire her when she revealed this? My opinion is maybe they are involved. Maybe they know exactly what was going on, and she stumbled on to the truth, and they said, okay, we got to do something with her. And they fired her, tried to destroy her name. And hey, people, wake up. This ain't a game. I don't care what side you're on, Republican or Democrat, or are you in the middle? It doesn't matter. The children matter. Whether you like the border being open or whether you don't like the border being open, we all have to agree that what is going on with these children is wrong on either side. We have to do something. As you can see, there's a lot more out there of this going on. I can't cover it all in this short amount of time, but I'm pretty sure somebody sees something out there. You see a kid that does not look like it should be there. The kid they shouldn't be with that person. They look nothing like them. But that person is consistently and deliberately on this kid. Like, stop, don't go there, move here, stay beside me. Something's off. See something, say something, because you never know. Even if the cops come out and it's proven that this kid knows this person and that's a family member or is a good friend of the family, the kid will know that, and the kid will tell the police. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. The police are trained. They know what to look for. But if they don't see it and it's not reported to them, they can't do anything. And there may be some that say, well, the police can't do anything anyway because of the rules and the laws. There are some police out there that will do their job no matter what. You just got to take a chance and call them. See something, say something. It's for the children. That is our future, our children. People, let's fix this. All right. Until then, take care and stay true to the red, white, and blue. Peace.